Hi everyone, so today I wanted to talk about disability representation, particularly Anne Hathaway's new movie The Witches, which is a remake of a 1990s film. Now if you haven't heard, she's actually made a public apology regarding how the witches are portrayed in the movie, which is with limb difference. So I just want to share a little bit of what she said in her apology. As someone who really believes in inclusivity and really detests cruelty, I owe you all an apology for the pain caused. Now that I know better, I promise I'll do better. So she got a lot of positive feedback for this apology. However, there were some people who were really against her having to apologize in the first place, and I wanted to share one of the comments that I read and kind of break it down so that you can see the other side of things through a disability studies framework. So the comment read, "Oh my god, the movie is a remake of the 90s and nobody had issues then. Get a freaking grip on your life and stop complaining about every damn issue. No one was making fun of people who have limb difference. It's just the portrayal of what witches look like." To add, she didn't come up with a description of the characters. It was the writers. Have them apologize. So I wanted to break this down a little further. So if we look at the first remark, the movie is a remake of the 90s and nobody had issues then. So in the 90s, the disability community and disability activists were actually quite busy with the Americans with Disabilities Act, which was signed in the same year that the film was released. And that act was ensuring that disabled individuals were not being discriminated against because of their disability, and that they were also being provided access to government organizations, communication, transportation, education, and to businesses. So they were pretty busy at the time. So the next remark said, no one was making fun of people who have limb difference. Now, although someone wasn't actively making fun of limb difference, if we look at mobilizing metaphor, arts, culture, and disability activism in Canada, there's a chapter by Jeffrey Preston who talks about the 4 different disability representations that are out there. And one of the representations that he talks about is villain representation, which is the idea that disability is a punishment for evil. Now that is something I don't want the students I support to internalize, and I definitely don't want their peers to unconsciously take that in and build their understanding of disability on that representation and that idea of the villain stereotype. So the last point in this comment that really stood out to me was that this person felt that Anne Hathaway shouldn't have had to apologize, and that if anyone was to apologize, it was the writers. And I totally get that, because you think, she was just doing her job. However, if we look at the Canadian Journal of Disability, there's a chapter that talks about what constitutes as a disability rights movement. And one of the things they talk about is visual activism, which is when disabled individuals put themselves in the public eye in order to enact change in how people think and see disability. However, if we have disability representations out there, such as the villain representation being inaccurately put out in the media, then it overshadows the true, accurate representations that disabled individuals are putting out there. So lastly, I want to say how disability is represented in media and government organizations and society is a direct correlation to how we understand disability, and that will result in how we treat other individuals who are disabled. And that's why it was so important that Anne Hathaway had made that apology, has acknowledged it, made other individuals aware about it, so that as a community we can move forward and do better. So if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and like and comment. I would love to hear what your thoughts are on this. Have you heard about this situation? What are your thoughts about disability representation? Let me know, and I will see you guys later. Bye.